Welcome everybody to Art Car World in Douglas, Arizona. Today we are excited to bring you a special author event and art car experience with Tracy Bouvier, author of the memoir Drop Me Around the Corner. And today, my name is Alejandro and we are here with Alejandro Live and Local with Douglas today, brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group, because Cochise County is now backed by Morse. So Tracy, I wanted to ask, how are you doing here today?
Great. This is great to be here in Douglas, Arizona.
And one of the first questions I want to ask is, what inspired you to write "Drop Me Around the Corner," and why is this story so important for you to share?
Yes, the book is a memoir. I knew I had a great story to tell because it is about growing up with an eccentric father who didn't know how to be a dad, but was a very loving and kind man. And he was in very good shape. And he was when he was at Tucson High School, when he was 16. And so growing up with this kind of guy was something worth telling. And I'm just glad I made it through my childhood. It was a very wild childhood. And so this car here was our family car. He would drive me around town in it. Wow. And that's why the book is called Drop Me Around the Corner, because it was so embarrassing to me. But as I've gotten older, I've become more proud of it than anything else. And so the embarrassment's gone, but that's the relatable part of the story.
Mm-hmm. And so the van right behind you is called the California Fantasy Van, and it was created by your father. And I just wanted to ask, so what inspired your father to create this van out of brass and other materials?
Yes, he had that kind of artistic instinct. He had done many things like this before with our home, with tiling. He used to ride a Harley Davidson motorcycle back in the 50s, and he did the same kind of thing to his Harley. He put chrome balls all over his Harley as well, a 1200cc Harley. And so this was like his thing. He added to things, even paintings. And so when he got this van, this beautiful paint job van, he loved that van even before he did all this. And then he added a couple silver dollars and he loved the look of it. And so he kept going and he couldn't stop. And he thought he was making a national monument. That's what he said. I have footage of him saying, the California Fantasy Van is a national monument.
Well, it definitely looks like a national monument. I mean, I also heard that it weighs over 14,000 pounds and it takes so much gas just to drive it down the street. And so how did riding around in your dad's California Fantasy Van as a teenager make you feel, and why did you want to be dropped off around the corner?
Yes, it was hard as a kid. It really was. And embarrassment's hard as a kid. And I told a story about my first day of high school being dropped off in this van. And people looking at me like that was instilled in me. And it was very embarrassing. So I thought the title that's what it was, because it's more than just this on the surface. It was about my dad and his parenting and how he always wasn't there for us. Mm-hmm. And for me. But in the end, he saved me from the big stuff. He came through for me in the end.
Mm-hmm. And with writing the story, how did your personal how did your personal experience shape the messages and the themes in your book? And what was the most challenging part of writing such a personal story, especially because it was about your dad?
Yeah, there's parts of the book that are even hard for me to read out loud when I have to go over it, because when you get that much freedom as a kid, because my mom passed away when I was 7, and he just didn't keep track about me, so I was all over the neighborhood. So I got into a lot of trouble and kind of things that shouldn't happen to a 12-year-old. I tell the story of getting in a motorcycle accident that was a big deal And so that whole thing still affects me today.
Mm-hmm.
And writing about it was very difficult to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But I think letting it out there, that's why I wanted to tell it so much, because I'm like, this is so crazy that this happened to me. I wanted to just tell it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but in the end, my dad was a loving man. So I forgave him for that, for not being there. And that's the reward at the end of the book. It's like we still have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and were there any moments during the writing process that changed how you saw your past?
how I saw my past. Writing about my siblings was very learned about how much I love them as well. And my sister probably a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And because my sister became like the mom, she's 4 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And because my dad wasn't there, she just kind of filled in that hole of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kept tight as a family. So that was fun to learn, to really write those stories out in the book.
Mm-hmm. And what were one of the most funniest or memorable reactions that you saw people had when they saw your dad's van driving down the street?
They wanted a picture with the van man. And I have some high school friends who would see him like at Venice Beach. And I have some photos of them posing with my dad. And my dad was this kind of guy that let all the teenagers come over to the house,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd feed them ding dongs and Oreo cookies. And my one friend would say, let's go to the Steingolds and eat ding dongs, because he let us swim in the pool. He let us eat all his junk food. And the Steingold house was a good, positive place to go. And all my friends have great memories of my dad.
Mm-hmm. And if you could give any advice to any new writers or young writers that want to tell their story or personal stories like how you have, what would you say to them?
I'd say, tell how it really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold back. That the important stuff that I'd say take apart the most important part of your story, because there's so much to tell in your life. And this is a coming of age story. And so this story went from when I was a baby in a swimming pool to getting married. And so you have to have a beginning and an end, but the middle is the hardest part to fill.
Mm-hmm. And I just one more question I wanted to ask. Where was this van? Where did your dad make this van at? Well, in Burbank, California, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. In the suburbs of Burbank, right in the center of town. And it sat outside in our driveway the whole time. It never was in a garage. And so when he was working on it, he'd be out there and people would just walk by seeing him working on it. And he often did that in his Speedos and barefoot. And because he was a very, fit man. So he wanted to show off his body too. But so Burbank, and everyone knew him in Burbank. At the bank tellers, the grocery store. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you so much for your time. And is there anything else you would like to add before we cut short here?
I'm just so grateful to have a place for the van here.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know what to do with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be able to take this home with me. That's for sure. it's got to be here, and it still runs. And maybe it'll be in a movie someday.
There we go. It has been in different kinds of commercials and projects throughout the years, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, it's been in a couple movies, Arsenio Hall show, Will Shriner, Real People, tons of news stories. Yeah.
Also as well as art car showcases.
Art car parades.
I believe it's even won first place for many of them.
That's what Herod was saying. I don't know all those little details, but yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tracy.
Right.
And once again, you'll be signing books here today, correct?
Yes, I've already signed a few.
There we go. You can come to the Art Car World and get a few copies of Draw Me Around the Corner, and signed, by the way, too.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. And once again, if you want to see this van, the California Fantasy van, it is here in the Art Car World in beautiful Douglas, Arizona. I'm Alejandro Gutierrez here with CoolFMLive. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much again, Tracy.
Thank you, Alejandro, and Cool FM.
Thank you so much.